Here's a recap video of my long 2-month trip. It took me through 11 states. It was 3,500 miles. Well, no, actually it was 3,390. And this video is going to be longer than I would want it to be, but I'm going to try to also be quick, showing little stops along the way. It was a great trip. Used about 2.5 bottles of Sriracha, a whole bunch of gas, and I had to make some changes along the way, but the first stop was St. Louis, Missouri. Let's check that out. It was a quick stop in St. Louis. Mainly went to see the arch. I hadn't seen it in years, and it's beautiful. If you ever get the chance, go check out the arch. Go up into the arch and get the great view. You'll have to wait a little bit, but it's well worth the time. This trip had a lot of really hot weather. This was part of it, and I had a lot of storms, so you're going to see a little bit of everything. From St. Louis, I moved on to Ottumwa, Iowa, and stayed at a local city-run campground. Great host they had there, reasonable prices. Get a chance, go check it out. From there, it was on to outside of Omaha, Nebraska. Had hot weather, and then some of these nasty storms. They're calling for possible hail. Hail no. Alright, there's rain. Wow. It's coming in thick. No hail, no hail, no hail. Oh, shit. This can pass over any time now, that'd be fine. There's a hailstorm with thunder and lightning and really big winds, and knocked out the power. Knocked over many things. That'd be a bad day. Next it was on to Lake Vermilion in South Dakota. Beautiful state park. Probably the best kept state park I've ever been into. It was immaculate. It was beautiful. Had a nice little lake. A little cold, but it was doable. And I really enjoyed this place. If you're in southern South Dakota, I think you should check it out. You'd probably enjoy it. Stunning sunsets, and coming up, this couple was getting 15 miles a gallon pulling this classic fifth wheel. I moved on to Grand River Casino in Mobridge, South Dakota. Fantastic price with a great view. It was a nice casino. I spent a little time gambling. Won a little bit, not a lot. But they also have a campground down at the bottom, a standard campground. Great place. Highly recommend. I ended up changing my original plans to go further west, and that took me to Mobridge, and I'm glad I went there. I saw something I might not have seen. This is Sitting Bull's Memorial. There's also one to Sacagawea right here, and it was well worth the 10-mile round-trip bike ride. It was pretty cool. Beautiful view. So after a few days of great casino prices, it was time to move on to North Dakota. This is Lake Sacagawea State Campground, and it was also beautiful, very well kept, and I will say these were the largest campsites I've ever seen at a state campground. Just amazing. Beautiful place. Stayed here a few days. Reasonable prices. I don't remember exactly, but great place. But the main reason I went here was this is the western terminus of the North Country Trail, and I wanted to hike a few miles of it. I did about 10 miles. Great trail. The North Country Trail, if you've never heard, is 4,600 miles. It goes through half the country, it seems like. And the other end is in upstate New York on the Vermont border. You start out on the western terminus through some woods, and then you hike along this huge bridge that goes over the lake. It's a beautiful place. Garrison Dam, Lake Sacagawea. If you get a chance, hike the North Country Trail. If you get a chance, come up here. Next stop in North Dakota was one night. I ended up sharing my spot because the campground was full, and you try to help out fellow wanderers. Then I made another stop for a night or two on the eastern side of North Dakota. Very beautiful area, and it was time to move on.
Duluth.
Minnesota became just a drive-through state on this trip. I've been in Minnesota before, but I wanted to keep going east.
One thing I don't think I'm gonna miss is the wind of the Dakotas. I also got lucky at most places I stayed that the wind would die down for a little while so I could enjoy exploring and stuff, and it always seemed like the wind came back.
I took US 2 across most of South Dakota and Minnesota, and I'll tell you that road was a little bit rough, but I got to the bridge at Duluth that took me into Wisconsin. I stopped at Ashland and got some of the best water you'll ever drink. I filled all I could take. It was still hot, so it was one night at Bad River Casino, and relax after a long drive, soak in the tub, and then move east. Next, it was on to Ontonagon, Michigan, one of my favorite places. It's in the UP. This is Ontonagon Township Park. If you're stumbling across my videos for the first time, you may not know, but I have a thing for the UP now, and Ontonagon is one of my favorite places. It's very remote, the lake is cold, but you got a great room with a view, looking out over beautiful Lake Gitche Gumee. There's a place to get a good pasty, and there's a couple decent restaurants, but I come here for my favorite campground anywhere. Who could beat this? I had some great weather, and I had some bad weather. Here comes some bad.
You get these hot spells out there like that, with air mixes. You sure can see white good against that background though, eh? Those little seagulls. Yeah. Yeah, focus on those clouds to your left there. You see the way they're swirling in and out.
Yep. Right over on that tree line.
Look at it now. Standing on the beach watching it, boy, it's starting to swirl like a tornado.
It is swirling.
But there's a stinking boat out there, way out there.
Storm's coming. And some idiot is still out there in a boat. Alright, I'm gonna say, holy shit, that storm came in. That guy's awning is already ripped off. Alright, that was serious winds. That guy lost his awning. These people in that pop-up, I looked over and I saw they'd gone on a bike ride and they left their dog outside. So it was raining really hard. The dog was under the picnic table, scared shitless. So I went and grabbed it and took it up to the office, and they're going to keep it inside there until the people come back. But my camper neighbor lady had one of those screen rooms. She came back and put her awning down, but her screen room is across the campground. And when I opened the door to get in, my side door, it pulled all the way forward. It seems to be closing fine. I hope it's not messed up. Whew, I'm drenched too. Still wondering about that idiot out there in the boat. That storm came up. You saw it coming. It was coming fast. Big winds, Keek. This storm was called a shelf cloud. It made all the local news, and it was a hell of a storm. See, it just goes to show you, it was a beautiful day, and this storm came in out of anywhere. I mean, look at that guy's awning. I know, Keek. I'm glad it didn't hit the RV too. But don't leave your pets outside. I went out there, and I'm telling you, I went out there, it was at least 50-mile-an-hour winds. And that poor dog was under the picnic table, scared shitless. And I took it to the office, and now I think I got a friend for life. It kept, when I got it in the office, it kept jumping up on me and stuff. It was so happy to be out of that. It was right on the beach, you know? Don't think that these storms don't roll in quick. That was serious. And I gotta, when it dies down, I gotta make sure my side door is alright. I've never had my door go all the way open, you know, like it was touching the passenger's door, so hopefully it's alright. Think when you go RVing, it's still bad, but here's another one. They lost their awning right there. That's where the dog was. That's that awning. Never leave your awning out when you're gone. Right? You got water? I give you clean water without sand in it. Well, the winds died down, the storm pretty much blew over. There was a boat out there. I hope it ended up alright. 70-mile-an-hour winds, they said. Right about when I was pulling that dog out from under a table.
This storm had the same properties of a tsunami because Lake Superior is huge. And then the next day, it was beautiful. And we had a nice full day, and then we got another great big rain. So this trip was basically beautiful weather interrupted by amazingly huge storms that would move through. But the reason I come to Ontonagon and what I love about Ontonagon are the sunsets. If you enjoy these, you can search my page for any of the stuff I've already talked about and see the whole videos. You can join 122 other people that seem to enjoy the sunsets. But I've been to Key West, I've been Hawaii, I've been all over the world, and Ontonagon, Michigan, on Lake Superior has some of the best sunsets I've ever seen. To me, they are truly awe-inspiring, and there's no better way to end a day. So again, I know these are flashing by really quick, but just go to the channel. Anything you've seen so far, just type in that word. If you type in sunsets, you're going to get more results than you can imagine. Or any of the places I stayed, there's full long videos on those. Ontonagon, Michigan. If you come up, you'll love it. If I come up, be nice and give me a camping spot because I told you about this amazing place. Oh, and P.S. These pictures you're seeing, these are taken with a cell phone, and I have done nothing to edit these. These are exactly what you see. No Photoshop, no fancy anything. This is just a place where you can come and enjoy nature's finest. I know, right? Stunning. Just, it's an amazing place. As I edit this video, it just makes me sad. I want to be back up there. And the UP has a special draw for me. It's amazing. It's like fireworks in the sky. And I was up here for the 4th, so I just enjoyed the simple show from the locals. When I finally got myself to move along, I went to the Ojibwa campground in Baraga, Michigan. Beautiful spot. I missed Ontonagon a little bit, but this is a beautiful spot on Keweenaw Bay on Lake Superior. Beautiful place. They also have a powwow area. Pretty cool. One day I'd like to get up there and watch the powwow. This is the campground that's back in the woods. It's a little bit cheaper. It's nice, and then this is the campground right on the water. I always seem to choose the water. Whichever camping area you choose, both have great pricing, so it's a very good deal, and I think it's a much better campground than the nearby Baraga State Park. The lights of the city of Lance.
I was going to stay up here the last night to use the Wi-Fi and maybe do a little gambling, but this place is full. All 12 sites were taken, so I rode the bike up the hill. Pretty good size hill, and use the Wi-Fi. Just sat in the lobby and used the Wi-Fi, and I'll go back to the much nicer campground right on the water.
I stayed at the casino the first night in Baraga.
Not a bad casino at all, and this is full hookup, so that was going to be helpful, but you know, it's all good.
And I moved on to Tourist Park in Marquette, Michigan. Marquette's one of my favorite cities anywhere. I just really like this place. And this campground is large, but I like it. It's a good campground, and I like the Superior Dome. And if you get there, check out Presque Isle. It's pretty cool. Beautiful. This is my favorite building in Marquette, and I like all the buildings in Marquette. They're all just nice old architecture. It just gets me. I think it's awesome. The decommissioned Ore Dock in downtown. And then I got on the North Country Trail and I hiked 8 or 9 miles of it. I've hiked probably, I'd guess 100, maybe 120 miles now of parts of the North Country Trail. It's a thing I like to do. And this was a good hike. If you find it in your area, check it out. I didn't realize North Country Trail goes about 2 miles from my house here in Dayton, Ohio. It's amazing. Within 20 minutes of being in town, I went to my favorite pasty shop anywhere, Gene K's in Marquette. And I've tried them all over the place, and this one happens to be my personal favorite. I talked to the owner, Brian, great guy, And I can't go to Marquette without eating some there and taking as many home in my RV as I can. I just like eating local stuff, and pasties are a great way to do it in the UP. Everybody's different take. Then I moved on to Escanaba Island Casino and Resort. Very nice for a casino. This had an actual campground, like look, fire pits and everything. Thanks to a previous viewer who recommended it, very good place. I had to get more ice cream, and it had really cheap laundry, like $2 a load, which when you're on the road, that's great. Lots of restaurants with good food, a hot tub and pool. I did a little gambling, did okay, not great, but did fine. So I also recommend it. On to another Kewadin casino in St. Ignace. Good casino, cheap, 15 bucks a night, and nothing to complain about. Water and electric. You look out over Lake Huron. And I would recommend it to anybody before you're going to jump the bridge. This is Lato's Pasties. All the locals recommended it as the best in town. I thought they were pretty darn good. I would eat them again. St. Ignace has turned very touristy, but that's okay. It is what it is, and it's a nice little town. You can walk around. You're still on the North Country Trail in places, so check it out. Then, sadly, it was time to cross the Mighty Mac and head back south. The Mac is a great bridge. I really enjoy driving over it. If you get lucky, usually a car is $4, and my RV normally gets charged as a car. A regular RV is $10, and if you're towing anything, it's usually another $4. There's a very good chance I'll be crossing it again, getting back to the Yup. Next stop for me was Traverse City. I stayed at the state park there. It's a huge state park. There's like 480 sites in there. But I think they do the best they can with a park that large to keep it kind of nature still. So if you're in Traverse City and you want to be 4 miles from downtown, this will work. They give you a covered bridge to walk across a busy road and get to the beach. And it's a nice beach. And also if you swim in Grand Traverse Bay, which is part of Lake Michigan, it is a lot warmer than Lake Superior is. So I had a good swim there. And I really like Traverse City. I've been coming up here for years. The downtown is beautiful, but I'll say one thing. They call tourists their fudgies because there's a lot of fudge sold, but it has become almost overrun with tourists from what I remember as coming up here as a kid. It's still beautiful. They got a lot of really good food trucks in this one area, but Traverse City is nice. Just be prepared for a lot of people also enjoying the nice. So if you've watched my stuff before, you know I travel with 2 cats, and if you haven't, here's 2 cats. I think she saw me walk away and freaked out.
Gotta get her. He's heading back to the RV. Good girl, Keek. Not so much? Go ahead. Did you have fun, Keek? Till the end? Alright, Ben. Let's take you over there. I guess that was a pretty bad idea with waves like this.
Now, I always make a disclaimer. I never planned on cats. It just kind of happened. It was previous life holdover kind of stuff. But now, I wouldn't travel without them. But it does, if you travel with pets, it does change how you RV. You know, it gets hot, they need air.
What are you doing, Keek? I gotta put the screen back before the bugs get in. Watch your head. Mind your head. There you go. Nobody can see you now. I can see you, Vin. See, she's not happy about being outside, are you, Keek? Look at that boat. Is that Vinny in the window? You're okay. There you go. This isn't gonna work, is it?
And another thing I like is I like to cook and I like to eat. This is actually a veggie version, but most of the time, if you've watched, I like some London broil, and I make a lot of London broils. And I make a lot of foil packs on the grill for potatoes, pork chops, all kinds of stuff. I just really like eating. I like food, and I enjoy sharing ideas how you can eat semi-healthy, some chicken, when you're on the road in your RV. I make cool stuff sometimes. This is bulgogi, Korean barbecue bulgogi in wrapped up form in lettuce. Awesome stuff. And then again, I have another London broil. And then I use leftover London broils. And I make burgers. And I enjoy burgers. I make turkey burgers sometimes. I make more pork chops. But you won't see is fish. A lot of people ask me to make fish. I'll make brats from time to time, a special local corn with this great sauce on it. But I don't cook fish because I don't eat fish. So I'm sorry for those of you that like fish. It's not going to happen. I do like pasta with leftovers and stuff. And then I get back to burgers. Because when you're on the road, burgers are usually a little cheaper to buy than steaks and stuff. But I do like using the grill in different beautiful places. Again, look at that. Isn't that not a perfect London broil? If you do it right, it's awesome. And here's a Gene K's that I ate when I got all the way back to Ohio. The last leg of the trip was from Traverse City back to Dayton, Ohio. It was a little rough because I had some tire issues. Got them all resolved. I will tell you, I got 14.82 miles per gallon on this 3,400 mile trip. When I got back, I had to replace 2 tires. One had these impact problems and one had a separated tire. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe you saw some places you might like to go on your own, and that you have a great and wonderful day.